it's 2024, and welcome to the Dating with Katy podcast. We are about 80 podcasts in. I've been doing this for a little over a year now, and I have to say, today's topic, I am about 75 podcasts too late. And the reason I say this is because I addressed this topic for women specifically early on in my podcast because I thought it was so important that I haven't really addressed it about the men to the women. So I want to take today's podcast. I had something totally different. I actually had last week's podcast. I made it. It was 5 reasons why you shouldn't be dating in 2024. You know, you're not technically ready. You're going for rebounds, all these different things. It was a great podcast, except for the fact that somehow my voice was not recorded, which is ironic because my voice is, I'm always recording and somehow there was no sound. But again, just like in dating, you know what I did? I pivoted. I decided let that one go. Just like in dating, you got to let it go. If it didn't work out, if it wasn't meant to be, you learn to let it go. I mean, I have a client right now. He was a year and a couple months in with a girl. He was ready to move in towards marriage, and she had talked about it. He had rearranged his life. He had sold his house, bought a house closer to her, and she ghosted him. So no bueno on her part. Totally immature behavior. I even told him way earlier than he decided to move on it. I said, hey, what she's doing is not cool. You do not want to marry a woman like this. These are some major red flags. And this is why people hire me, because he gave her way too long to put up with it, even though I saw it earlier. And I can't make every client do what I tell them to do, but I do help them see what they're not seeing. And eventually they kind of catch up and they're like, dang, Katy, you were right. So had another client who I've been working with forever. He's an older gentleman, could have been married 10 times by now, just so picky. And I said, I'll work with you again, but you have to listen to me. You have to literally listen to me and go out with these women on a second date or a third date. You are in your upper 60s and you're going to be single forever because you've not been listening to me. So when people ask us about, our dating success and Katy, what's your success ratio? Look, this is my disclaimer. If you don't listen to me, I don't guarantee success. So listen to me and trust me. Give the good person a chance, and just maybe you will find yourself into a quality relationship. Well, thanks for joining. I want to make sure that you have subscribed. Do me that favor. I really want to get this podcast higher on the charts. We need people to see it. We need people to hear it. We need people to date like adults, because I want you to get confident, be successful, and let's have some fun dating. So if you subscribe, that helps me out. Give me a little 5-star review, write a little message in there. Also send me a DM, send me a note, send me an email of any podcasts you'd like me to do. I feel like I kind of hit a lot of topics. I am open and available to try something new. So I love hearing from you. And I love when I get on my calls with different people in my database. I've been putting tons of people on dates lately for my clients. If you'd like to be a client, I need you to click work with me. And if you want to go on a date with one of my fantastic clients, I need you to click work with me and get in the database. Okay, well, this is the topic that I am late to the game on, but nonetheless, timing is always perfect. So it's going to be 5 things that men are looking for. And I feel like it's kind of a boring, I need to maybe like fix that up for YouTube so it sounds more fancy and like 5 things that men love or something like that. But the point is this, is that earlier on in my podcast, I actually shared 4 things every woman should look for, which that podcast is great for women and men because it helps men understand what is it that women are looking for, and it helps women get focused and not focus on chemistry being the number one. So I feel like this is kind of that same version of it, although it is aimed for women, 5 things that men are looking for. I think you guys will have a great understanding if you're listening to it that yes, Katy, you've got us. And I do want to say, I think I avoided doing this because I'm not a man, and so I can't technically speak for a man. But being a married woman, I have really been studying what a man is looking for. What does a man need from a woman? Like, what is God's plan for a woman in a man's life? Because God said it's not good for man to be alone, so he gave us a woman, and that's it, man and woman. That's all I'm talking about today. There ain't nothing else to talk about. But there's been a book I've been reading. I read 2, and one is it's How to Talk So Your Husband Will Listen. It's a great book for anybody who's in a relationship with any kind of man, even your boys. So I highly recommend that book. But today I'm going to be focusing on Making Sense of Men. It's a woman's guide to a lifetime of love, care, and attention from all men. And this is from Allison Armstrong. She has a plethora of books. I just found out about her. An old client of mine told me about her. And look, I mean, it's interesting when you look at the title, A Woman's Guide to a Lifetime of Love, Care, and Attention from All Men. I mean, that's kind of a selfish reason to buy a book, let's be honest. Instead of the book saying, understanding men and, how you can meet their needs, it talks about how they can meet mine. But that's the point, right? We're in relationship to meet each other's need. It's not about me, me, me. And the more you actually meet someone else's need, the more satisfied you should be if you're a quality person. So let's talk about this book. I'm going to be using some of her stuff as well. And then three of them, the first three that I'm going to share about the 5 things that men are looking for. Guys, I share this all the time on my Instagram. I share this with my followers. But first, I want to give this. Ladies, if you're listening, I only want women who are listening who believe in men, who believe in good men, who believe that men, the good men, actually want to spend time with them, take care of them, protect them, contribute to them, and actually believe that men want to make them happy. So if that's not you and you're bitter, maybe go listen to another podcast. Maybe listen to this on another day after you didn't have a bad date and you actually gave a good guy a chance. Because that's what this is for. This is for the women who are out there saying, Katy, I believe I'm one of your, groupies. I believe that there are great men out there. I have yet to find mine. So I think this will help you curate yourself to be even more of that woman they're looking for so they can spot you in the 80% crowd, right? And ladies, I'm really asking that you would be receptive. And we're going to talk about that today because many of you, and I'm going to read from the book on this one, are not receptive. And I hear this a lot of times when I'm talking to women kind of on the street or out and about, not necessarily with the women in my database, but this is what women say. Well, I don't need that. I don't, when men are generous and they give you their time and they buy you dinners or, they take you somewhere, their thoughtfulness towards you, this is what women often say. No, well, I didn't need that and I don't deserve that. No, I've already got one of those. No, I can buy that for myself. No, you really shouldn't have spent the money. This is not what any man, married or in a relationship or dating, wants to hear. You know what he really wants to hear? Is thank you. So these are for the women who are out there saying thank you. And these are the things that men are looking for. All right, well, let's get started. Number 1 is going to be fit. The first 3 are my 3 F's. I'm just going to say it right now. Fit, fun, and feminine. Okay, I say that because it's easy to remember. Alliteration always works. But let's talk about why fit is always attractive to men, right? This is what men are looking for in you, ladies. Because if you're fit, then you're healthy. And again, I can go back to the days of if you have good hips, you're childbearing. Look, most of my followers are not childbearing ages. We are long gone with that. You are like me. You're like, let's move on. I want second houses in Costa Rica. So in fitness, what it is, it's a standard of self-respect. And I talk a lot about this in other podcasts, but I've always been into fitness. You don't have to look like me, ladies. You have to be fit for your body. You have to choose to take care of yourself and what you eat, where you exercise, what you're doing in your skincare routines. I mean, I've had so many guys recently say, Katy, I need a skincare routine. And I'm going to get on that for you guys. But it's important that you look fit and healthy because this is why, because it's attractive. That is the number one thing that gets a man to look at you. And men are highly visual. And yes, you ladies are visual too. And when there's that attraction, and attraction's not always a good thing because attraction usually leads to sex. And I'm going to talk about that as well today. But when there's that attraction, and you guys call that chemistry as well, then they recognize you and they see you. Things like shiny hair, a shapely body, those are attractive to men. When you have a beautiful outfit on that's well kept and groomed and, pressed clothing, a fitted outfit, those are attractive. That is a healthy body. It's a style. It shows, again, that element of self-respect. So really looking fit, healthy, staying up to date 2.0. I recently asked on my Instagram polls if you guys had been, updating your wardrobe, updating your look, and sadly, only 50% of you have done it. So the rest of you, get your buns out there. This could literally be why you're not having success. I have people go on dates and they'll just say, Katy, him or her, either way, their outfit was just a little outdated. His shoes were like 10 years old and kind of dirty. Her dress looked like something my mom would have worn to church. It's not working for you. And I understand that's who you are, but who you are the outfit you wear can also still be updated and you can still be you. So don't give me that excuse. And the 15 pounds of my, this is who I am now post-COVID, can still be lost. So no excuses. I don't take that. So stay fit, stay healthy, ladies. Men are looking for that. And they also need it because they need a little help sometimes. I know my man, he works so hard. He always needs a little kind of encouragement of like, hey babe, let's go to the gym together. Hey babe, get your butt to the gym. I'll take care of this. Like, he loves and I am for him because he feels good when he looks good. Okay. Number 2, ladies, are you fun? And there's a couple nuances here. So it's not just like, oh, I'm so fun. You know, these drunk girls that are fun. I mean, I see them, these 55-year-old women getting drunk. It's ridiculous. But this is what they're looking for. When I say fun, I'm looking for, I should say this, men are looking for women who are, number 1, confident. They know who they are. They are confident in who they are. They like themselves. So they're not worried if you like them back. They're not worried if that girl gave her a mean look because, girl, I'm good. Like, I'm happy with me. Because once you are happy with you, then you can be authentic in front of them. Men love that. I had a girlfriend. She was so fun. She was so confident and she was chubby. She was kind of chubbier than all the rest of us. But man, she always had the room full and everybody loved her and guys liked her. And they look beyond that because a confident woman doesn't care if she has a little bit of cellulite, because guess what? The good thing with men is they're going to love it on you. They are not nearly as picky as we are. And this is literally why I don't work with female clients anymore, because female clients are so sticklers to everything they think is right. And so it's been difficult to work with them because if a great man who's perfect in all the other ways has bald hair, well, is bald, then she skips on him. A guy who says, Katy, you know, I like a woman who's about 5'7". If I say this girl's 5'3" and she is a rock star, he's like, okay. Versus the woman who I have to keep like, you know, goading to go on this date. So you, as a woman, need to be confident in who you are because men see it, they feel it, they love it. And guess what? It's so much easier for them to make you happy because you are already happy with who you are. Otherwise, these men just give and give and give, and then they turn sour because you've never received and you haven't been receptive because you have the block. It's not them, it's you who are insecure with your own self. Now, how do you know if you're a secure woman? I'm going to tell you this because I've had to work through this. As a matchmaker, I have to like all these ladies. Like, if she's gorgeous, instead of me going, wow, she's really pretty and getting insecure, I'm thinking, how do I make her my friend? I need her in my database, but also what can I learn from her? So if you are a pro woman, like, girl, I got you, I will support you, or are you a, look at her. If you are that girl, you are insecure in your own pants and you need to get on that. So you're authentic, you're confident, and you're positive. Men do not like naggy women because they're going to want to just fix that for you or jump ship. And I know there needs to be a safe space where they do listen, but are you more positive than you are negative? That's what men are looking for. These guys work some rough jobs. When I talk to my clients, these guys are they've been pounding for decades. They are, in their 40s, 50s, and now they're lessening a little bit. They want to be with someone who's going to go enjoy life and not complain. Now, I can tell you, my negative will be when I get into a restaurant. I used to own a restaurant. I worked in the food business. I can get a little complainy. And both my kids and my husband have made it clear that, Katy, you're never satisfied when we get to a restaurant. It's hard because for me, I'm looking at all the details, and that's very common. Women do look at details, men. We are very much on it. I don't always want to be like that, but I am. And I'm thinking, how could this run better? And it's not even necessarily that I'm complaining. I'm thinking, this isn't good over here, but this could be fixed, and I know how to fix it. And here's my one thing. The caveat to that is that I never put it on Yelp. So I never complain. If anything, I would walk up to a manager to say, hey, these are my observations. Run with it or do nothing with it. I don't really care. But these are some things that I noticed. And I've been in the food business for 20 years that I feel like I can actually speak to that. Take it or leave it, right? But nonetheless, it does affect the mood that when I'm with my husband and my kids. So I have to be very mindful of that because I'm teachable. And that's another thing in confidence is that if you're a confident person, you're willing to be taught and grow. Okay, so moving on. Number 3 is feminine. And this is huge because it is a mess out there right now. I mean, the fact that people are confused about their genders, let me just say this one thing. God made you exactly how you were supposed to be. There is nothing wrong with you. As a matter of fact, you are perfect. And so in this world of confusion, even Bumble has 47 genders. I'm going to tell you, You go be you, a beautiful female, and you go be you, a rad man, okay? A masculine male. We need more of that. And ladies, we need to bring that back. I think it's a lost art, but it's coming back. So ladies, what does it mean to be feminine? Number one, and she talks about this in the book, is you're receptive. You receive it. When a man wants to give, when he wants to open your door, when he wants to pay the bill, you receive it and you're gracious and you say thank you. When he wants to be the guy who comes over and fixes your refrigerator, you could say, no, don't worry, I can take care of that myself. Just say thank you and let the man be the man. He needs a reason to be your hero, because if he's not your hero, he's going to go find someone else to be a hero for. If you're always nagging him and he doesn't feel like a hero or the king or whatever you want to call it, he is going to go look for that elsewhere. And that is why people cheat. Okay? I mean, I could do a whole thing on cheating, and maybe I should, but ladies, you have to be more receptive and open. Oftentimes, these first dates, these women are so cold, their arms are crossed, they're sitting back in their seat, there's no flirting, there's no even touching. I always say, just hit the guy on the shoulder. He doesn't have cooties. We're not in second grade. You've got to be tender, be open-hearted, be kind. Be gracious, like give some guys some space and some grace. I've had to work on this with my husband because I can be a little mom sometimes, a little tyrannical, like do this now, get this done, right? You're running a house with 3 kids, you've got schedules and duties, but I can't do that with my husband. I have to change my tone. And that is actually, I'm working on that with my therapist. The beauty of Katy is that she gets really excited, but the negative Katy is that she gets really mad and upset and can use her voice as well for that. So we've got to be women who, again, are receptive, tender, kind, gracious, and using our tone appropriately. Now, I've heard some people say, well, if you talk to men like they're little kids, they'll get you whatever you want, right? And you've seen it in movies or like these kind of creepy, over-the-top girls. They're like, hi, sweetie. I mean, I listen to some of these podcasts, and they're like, oh, hi. Gross. I know a good man is not looking for a girl who talks like she's in 5th grade. Okay? So just whisper sweet nothings, be kind, use your tone, give the man a little space to get things done, and you will see a good man will rise to that challenge. All right, well, here's a couple more things that men are looking for. Number 4 is passion. And here's the deal, ladies. It doesn't matter about how much money you make. It doesn't matter what your job is. He doesn't care if you are a lawyer at the top firm making $400,000 and that's your passion. If that's your passion, fantastic. We love that that's your passion. He loves it too, but he doesn't care about the numbers. He doesn't care about, all the promotions you've got. What he cares about is that it's a passion. If your passion is making the best chocolate chip cookie you've ever made and you try a new recipe every week, he will love that equally so. And I know you boss babes are like, well, that's not fair. I've worked my buns off to get here. It doesn't matter. Do not lead with your money. Do not lead with your career. He does not need an equal in those things. He needs a cheerleader in those things. And he will cheerlead you back. But if you're looking to compete with him neck and neck, it's never going to work well for you. It's not feminine and it's not what men are looking for. So ladies, have a passion, be excitable about something, find a nonprofit. I think everybody should be in a nonprofit they love. It's so sexy. And speaking of this, that's number 5. Men are looking for women who like sex, who are sexy, who like to be playful and intimate. And again, sex is not the same as making love with someone. So I want to say this one thing, ladies. This was a question last night on a podcast I did. Well, when should you have sex, right? And look, I'm going to speak to it in the sense that not everybody who listens is Christian. I truly believe waiting. I waited with my first husband. It's the best gift you can give someone. It is the most special thing that you can save. It is your commodity down here, ladies. The Power of the Pussy is a great book. Save the cookies. Steve Harvey says, save the cookies for 3 months. There's no timeline on it. And it's about your principles and your standards. Number 1, make sure you know them, ladies. Make sure you know your standards on this one thing. How valuable is it to you? And if it's waiting till marriage, you communicate that quickly and early, and you get rid of any guy who is not going to honor that. You just move on. Because men know when you're just having sex because you're actually trying to get something from them. Either get a relationship from them, if you're trying to get them to pay for things. Men can feel that very quickly. As a matter of fact, men are very intuitive. We think, they just see us and they like us in 3 seconds. I do believe men know in 3 seconds if they like you. but they're assessing the whole you. They can tell if you're receptive. They can tell if you're happy. They can look at you by your outfit and see, does she have self-respect? And they can also read, like, what is she wearing? What is her body language saying? I'll go home with any man tonight. Is she overly drinking? Guys are smart that way, and we often don't give them credit. So just know that when you are wanting to be playful and be sexy with a guy, that you should only be sexy and fun with the man who has won your heart. Ladies, let me say this again. He has to win your heart to win your body. And guys, can I just say that to you? You have to win her heart to win her body. And yes, that's effort. And that's the number one thing I tell you ladies to look for, right? Because if he's putting the effort in, if he's listening, and if he's hearing your heart, and if he is showing up and he is helping you with real life, not just romance, but I say real life, 80% real life here, ladies. Is he showing up for all of that? Then he is a good man. So important. And number 6, let me just add to this. He's not looking for a doormat. He's looking for a woman with boundaries. And again, that's where I'm going to roll that back into the sex part. He wants a woman who has upheld her boundaries with other men as well. He wants to know that she has kept that. And if you're growing each time, then that is a good thing. But if every time you talk about your exes and how you let them kind of run all over you and they were drinkers and you had sex with them, men are not impressed by that. They are looking for women who have standards. So make sure that is you. And ladies, make sure you communicate those standards, because a good man likes a good challenge. And you have to have good standards for him to be challenged. So ladies, I hope that you're taking some time to understand men. We can't be so judgmental. We can't say, well, that's just how all men are. Well, this is just the way men behave. No. And as a matter of fact, they speak a whole different language. So there are so many great books out there. Again, Making Sense of Men. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I say this all the time. Men want to know that you're growing as well. Your EQ is all about understanding them better so that you can be a better woman to them. So I hope that this has helped you guys. I hope that you would give some feedback on this one at the very end. And if you're a bitter Bob, just delete. Just go back into your cave. But there are amazing women out there who want to be these kinds of women for you. And I hope that you're going to find them in 2024. And if you do, I want a feedback. I want to report. I want to know, because I want to share that on here. All right, you guys. Well, I just want to thank Jeff real fast. I had a call with Jeff today. Jeff is so cute. He writes Katie's Insights. He sent me his notes that he takes from these. So Jeff, we like you. You're a 20%er. He is learning. And here's one thing that Jeff learned, and I want to share this real quick, guys. Hopefully you're still listening, because ladies are going to shake their heads. He was dating a woman for 6 months, and sure enough, she one day was looking through his Instagram to get ideas of concerts and things he wanted to go to. But what he didn't realize is that she can also see who he follows. And sure enough, he was following some very shady women, very scantily dressed women. And she broke up with him right then and there. And he said, Katy, I quickly deleted all of that. I had no idea. So go clean up your life, clean up your Instagram, clean up your accounts, listen to more of Dating with Katy, send this to your buddies, send this to your girlfriend. And until next time, cheers to great dating.